I want to hear Shelley's journey, and I said it's really, really lovely, and it reminds me of my journey getting into business and loving, creating something, and why I've created Crunch, and then Shelley's strategies for growth. And all of Shelley's picked out inspirational pieces, from YouTube and Instagram, of people who are going out and doing it themselves. And there are some utterly brilliant stories, which we'd love you to go and see. We'll start off, if you're just starting off, we'll give you a bit of a taster for that inspiration, that motivation, and these people can carry it on. So let's just move straight in. Shelley, you all right?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Darren. How are you doing?
Not too bad. First webinar and all that. This is really looking forward to this, and very exciting. So we started looking all around. I've given you some names that you won't have heard of. Like these are people big in the e-commerce world, and we're going to find more. And we wanted to find that motivation, and we didn't have to look too far because Shelley's in our team. Shelley is marketing operations, controlling the website, the SEO, the PPC, all the elements of our marketing, and has put together this whole webinar series with the team, of course, so we can actually collect all you lovely people. So Shelley, where did this all start?
My journey into e-commerce.
Yes.
Well, actually, I mean, it started, it must have been about 8 or 9, I think. And when I first got the kind of love for making money from products, really, I was lucky enough to have a family friend who worked for Treebor Bassett's. And back in the day when they used to go around and actually give samples out to news agents and sweet shops. So this family friend basically we used to turn up to their house, and they used to give us a carrier bag each, myself and my siblings. And we used to basically fill these carrier bags up with sweets.
Oh my goodness.
And, obviously
sugar overload.
Yeah, complete sugar overload. Yeah, serious fillings now as an adult from that, I think. But I in a way of what can I do with this? This huge amount of sweets. I don't know what I can do. So I went to the local sweet shop, paid for a pack of paper bags, and I basically sat and sorted out all the sweets. And I went to school. And I started asking people in the playground if they wanted sweets, and basically set up this kind of tuck shop, mobile basically.
And how much are you making per bag? Was it 10p or something then?
Yeah, I think I started off at 10 pence. Yeah, 10 pence a bag. And then as the supply kind of grew, then the prices had to go up as well. It's the supply and demand. So that was what happened. So and then all of a sudden I got asked by my head teacher to stop doing it. And it was awful. Everyone was like, what do I do? Where do I get my sweets? So basically
you were earning more money than the teachers.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And then I used to stand outside the school gates, far enough away that was not on school property, and I used to carry on doing it. And that was me. That was kind of my love for kind of earning. And I didn't really understand anything about that, because I just thought I'd just got money and I've got pocket money. And then my parents sat me down one day. They found all this money, and they were like, what's going on? How are you getting all this money? And my dad's always been in sales, and I kind of said, well, I'm selling all the sweets that we're getting. And my dad was super proud of that moment. But that was my kind of, I guess, my first entrepreneurial business at the age of about 8 or 9, selling sweets.
Treebor Bassett's.
It was Treebor Bassett's. Yeah, there was some good
goodness.
sweets.
You must be inundated in these sweets. So you're really bringing in quite a lot of money. So you're not like jangling all the way home. These are lots of 10p's, aren't they?
Yeah, a lot of change. But you just, I was going to the bank and getting money bags and then paying it in, and it was. So I guess that was my first sort of hustle of kind of earning money.
Brilliant.
And a love for product, I guess, and that chasing products to buy. Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
I know I've got a real sense of it, and hopefully everybody else watching has really got a sense of where it starts. That I want to sell something. I want to make a bit of money, and when you start getting the money, there's this lovely feeling. I was called Del Boy at school, but I can't remember what I was selling. The only thing I remember doing is my sisters were always in theatre productions. And I used to, with Dad worked for a TV repair business, and we had access to all these cameras. So we used to do the filming for it, of which, he was happy to do it for free. And I went, no, it's £10 a video, Dad. Come on. And I did all the subtitles, not the subtitles, the titles, the beginning and the end. Sold them all professional, £10. I mean, in that day, that £10 was a lot, but you kind of had a captive audience, which sounds like you did as well. Like, give me more sweets. And there wasn't a tuck shop to compete. So hilarious. Right. Okay. So that's the starting point.
Yeah.
So your dad got a sense that you're into business, you're good at making money out of literally nothing. And it's kind of lucky that the cost of these sweets was zero. That's a big old margin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that doesn't exist in the world of e-commerce today. If we only get the free stuff unless you make it, but then it's still not free. So stepping into the e-commerce world, what did you do next?
So I joined the family business, and that was started in 2002, and we basically imported electrical cable junction boxes from South Africa. It's probably one of the most boring products I've ever had to talk about.
Electrical cable junction boxes.
Exciting.
Is there something special about this, or is this where in the walls all the conduit goes in? Is that what it is? So like a metal box that's screwed to the batten, right? Okay.
Yeah. So it's as boring as that, basically. And when we kind of started out, it was a small business, and we had someone build a website, and that was kind of in the early days of kind of websites and having a website and things like that. I think our first website was about £400.
Wow.
And then it was pretty basic and pretty awful, but it did the job. And then from there, because those products were being sold to wholesalers, we were getting sort of calls from the end users saying, look, I just would need one product. I don't have a trade account. Can I buy directly? And at that point we were like, well, no, you have to go through a trade. And then all of a sudden we were getting more and more phone calls coming through. And that's when I kind of said to the family, I said, look, why don't we look to set up an e-commerce version of what we're doing? So we have the wholesale, but also we have the opportunity to sell to the end users that just want the one product, not the big bulk orders. And because we're getting more and more inquiries for it, we thought, do you know what, let's try it. And with that, we expanded. We built. We got a website. I think we used a platform called CS Cart. I don't know if anyone's ever used.
I was going to ask you what was the systems available in 2002.
Yeah, so it was a system called CS Cart, and it was basically like a Shopify, but not basic. And we uploaded photos, and I did all the description, and all of a sudden we were getting orders coming through. We were sending people to buy on the website, and then it started growing. So what we were doing was creating additional revenue for the business, is that we were not only going for the kind of trade sales and the wholesale sales, but also for the end users. And that's how we kind of started. And then from that there's a particular, so this brand in South Africa, they have loads of different products, and they then started they sold adhesives, and then I kept getting phone calls for adhesives, and I was like, I could justify, like, how many packets would you like, and it's just one. And I thought, well, there's no point ordering, because we had to import from South Africa, so we had to build that in. So I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden I was getting more and more inquiries. And then
is this the same time, Shelley, as the electrical cable box business?
Yeah.
So you're doing adhesives at the same time?
Yeah, adhesive
all
at
under
the
same e-commerce site?
Yeah, under the same e-commerce site.
Right.
And then because we're getting such a sort of more of a demand from swimming pool repair companies, garden centres, I basically said to my my family, I said, look, shall I take this on, to keep it separate from what we're doing, but shall I start bringing these in and selling them? And then all of a sudden I was getting orders from swimming pool companies in Spain that I was buying and selling them out there and shipping them out there. And yeah, I mean, we were just supplying huge amount of adhesives. Which was,
and were you selling it online? So you've got
online.
the CS cart like now selling all the electrical stuff and the adhesives and the seals and all of that, and it started to expand. Blimey.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, we've got more and more inquiries coming through, and that was, I guess, before the days of real sort of advertising on or PPC or AdWords. I think that was just kind of coming in at that point, and then we just kind of just got the momentum going. So we were covering all bases at that point. So yeah, that was kind of how I fell into swimming pool repair kits.
And how many years did you work with your dad, like building up this business? And where did you get to, if you don't mind us asking? Like multi-millions or many hundreds of thousands?
No, I'd say. I don't.
Whatever your dad's comfortable
with.
Don't tell them that.
About that much. But yeah, I mean, it was 12 years we ran the company for. We started out on a really small, about £5,000. I think it cost to buy in theory a lead sheet, and then it was sold for a nice retirement amount, put it that way.
For Dad.
And so for Dad. Yeah.
Wait a minute. How much of the equity did you have?
Not that much.
Oh no, Shelley. Well, that's
I know. I wasn't as I was business savvy in the sense of finding the product and getting it done, but I've learned since then that I should have got my name on. We
see so many of the customers, they go in with partnerships or they make the mistake of doing 50-50, and then it goes wrong. It's almost impossible to solve the disagreement when both have equal rights. And then it's also realizing the power of the equity. And funnily enough, in this country, we don't seem to see the value of the equity yet. In the States, they'd happily take a much lower salary as long as they get a bigger equity stake. So yeah, it's something you get to grips with probably after the first time. You walk away and go, damn it, why didn't I get a bit of bigger share? Yeah. So I think those sort of things we could put into the next webinar when we really talk about the nuts and bolts of putting a business together. If you're going to work, if you're going to do this with somebody else, how should you split the business up? Who's the key people you need, in the business? Do you need a finance person, the salesperson, like you were the sales and marketeer. You need the wholesaler. If you're buying the stuff, you start really building up a team. Or if you're trying to do it yourself, then there's 100% equity ownership, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I think we'll make sure we add that into the getting the foundation, the building blocks of the business, and knowing how to do that, especially if you bring other people in, and bringing other people in certainly is a lot easier, because trying to do things on your own is damn hard work. So agreed. Fundamentally, a strategy like for probably all the people watching is a buy and sell of products at a fair price. You've got to store it somewhere at a fair price, and you've got to make margin within the competition. Sounds like you're probably one of the few and first in electrical junction boxes and stuff. I'm sure there was RS Components and other big players just coming into that space, but I seem to remember probably in that era everything was still call it in. So you were like well advanced to have that there, purchasable online.
Definitely. And I think, now it was kind of, as you said, call in the orders. And I think now we want it kind of instant. don't we? That's the way that we our buying habits, everyone's buying habits have changed now. And being able to look for different things online, and different products. So yeah, it certainly was a bit of an eye-opener at the beginning, because you thought, wow, these people in Skegness want this or something like that. It's like
Skegness.
Right, sorry,
okay.
if anyone's from Skegness.
So, but that is the perfect segue into the next thing, which has always been my question. When you start out, and I'm sure people that have tuned in for this, is like, where do you start? Like, if you've got a passion and it's a product, or you're making a product, then that's fair enough. That's nice and easy. That's where it starts. You've got to find the audience then. But what happens if you're just going into it from scratch? And I want to sell something. I want to have my own business. I don't want to work for that idiot anymore, in this corporate business. I want to go and have my own business, or even side hustle it and then grow it to the point I can leave. Is it product or audience? Product or audience? Where do you start?
So for me, it's product,
right?
And I just to obviously give the kind of a bit of a backstory. So from selling adhesives, once my dad sold the business, I still had excess stock that I actually kind of wanted. I purchased it. So then I started selling on eBay. It was an easy way. It was cheaper than hosting a site and things like that, because obviously prices went up, and there was supply. So it got to the point where I no longer had any stock, and we lost the license to actually, so we weren't able to purchase any more stock. So that was it. And because I absolutely loved, selling when an order comes in, it's thrilling, isn't it? It really is. That lovely moment of going, okay, something that you've done is sold, and that hard work is kind of paying off, really. And then I started looking at eBay as like the platform to sell on, and that was quite new at that time. I think when I started, I think it was around about 2006 or 8, something like that. And then I started, growing, looking at products that I could sell. So I've always been into skateboarding. I've always been into music. So I used to go out to car boot sales purely as a hobby, but I used to then go and find things.
Who doesn't love a good car boot sale?
Oh, it's the best thing in the world. I love a car boot sale. But from that, I was able to then sort of recognize something, because I thought, well, God, they're selling that really cheap. And then I started buying it and then flipping it on eBay. And then all of a sudden stuff's happening and I'm making a good profit. And don't get me wrong, I've made some really terrible purchases. I thought they're going to sell and they don't. And that's
go on, give us one example. What's the worst? And then we go and find out
the worst.
In the next bit, what you're doing now on the sideline to your day job in Crunch.
Yeah. So my worst purchase. I thought it was a load of sort of china and teacups and everything. And I was really naive. I thought because they look nice, I thought they were going to be. And I think I spent something like 40 or 50 pounds on them. And I thought, I'm going to get a good return. I didn't really do my research as well. It's very early days.
40 to 50 quid on china.
And then I basically, you probably get 3 pence per cup or something. And there was just so much money.
You must have loved this china set.
I couldn't even give it away. I think it ended up into a charity shop, and in the window it was there for about 6 weeks, or about 6 months, should I say, as I walked past. So nobody wanted it, so no one was going to buy it. So but then I think one of my best purchases was anyone, literally showing my age, but anyone who had in the 80s My Pet Monster. I
don't remember that.
Do you not? It was
what was it?
It was basically a My Pet Monster. It was a toy that was aimed. It's like a soft plush that was aimed at boys. It was a boy's toy. And it had like handcuffs, and it was this kind of big, grotesque looking cuddly toy. And
sounds attractive.
Yeah, but I've always been on the lookout for one of these, and I I was at a jumble sale, and I've never felt so guilty in my life, but I saw this kid reaching for this My Pet Monster, and I kind of subtly knocked them out the way and grabbed it.
That's
Completely awful,
mine.
but
Kids,
yeah,
shift out
grabbed
the
it,
way.
and I just said, "How much is this?" And they went 40 pence, and I went, I couldn't give them the money quick enough, and it was absolutely mint condition. And I put it on eBay, and all of a sudden I had over 1,500 watchers. I was getting inundated with offers, ridiculous, and I had it up for about £250. And I was having offers like £70. I was like, no, because I thought, why? This is clearly, this is sought after. And then I ended up selling it for, I think, around about £195.
No,
yeah,
no, so what a markup! That's the best.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So it's definitely
sheer brilliance. I mean, these come around every now and then, don't they? So what's the mainstay as you built up to the next section we're going to talk about, which is another whole genre in selling stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So was it skateboardy stuff? And it was I think I've seen you in like a really amazing Adidas shell suit is that from the 80s?
Yeah.
So, I love that.
Yeah, and I kind of, so many people ask me, and they go, what is it that how do you find the products? What is it that you're looking for? And I always say, I look for things that I like. Like I'm a bit of an 80s girl. I like, kind of retro clothing.
Duran.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And I just said, look, and that's how I think it's a really nice, because it utterly overwhelming. I've taken friends who have come along with me to car boot sales, and they're like, God, how do you find what sells? And I just said, just go for what you think. If you think it looks good, or just don't overwhelm yourself and research. eBay did have a really great app on their phone. You can even take a photo. Google Lens is brilliant. Take a photo. If you're not sure what it is, take a photo. Usually shows
get it
up
live very quickly.
Yeah, just show it. Just shows what it is if you don't know what the description is.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, anything that you like is the easiest thing. Sell things you like. If you like photography and about brands, keep an eye out for those, and all of a sudden you start getting into different areas, and that's what I've done. And I've been doing it now for about 16 years.
16 years.
Yeah, 16 years.
But you still love it.
Oh, love it. I love it. It's so sad.
No, I don't think it is. But I didn't realise that you work so damn hard at Crunch, like with this massive of marketing operations. But you're putting together this huge site with all this content, now webinar series, and all of this, and you stop and then you start on your little passion. Like pretty much every day and the weekend, and you're driving off to all of these car boot sales all over the place, aren't you? So this really is that that bug has stuck, from electrical junction box. No. Actually, before that it was Trebor Bassett's. And then electrical. Yeah, God, you really picked them. I just need to make it clear to everybody that Shelley didn't sell the adhesives, the glues to any school children anywhere. Yeah, that'd be wrong. That was later on. Right. Okay. So your examples and recommendations is like, go with the products that really appeal. They really love whatever it might be, and it might be from their childhood. I mean, I remember Tamagotchis and things like that. I don't know whether I've actually
they're worth
seen
a lot of money.
Now they brought them back. I mean, who can imagine like a kid wanting to play with something that's got probably a memory of 1 kilobyte, when they're playing some amazing game on the iPhone. That's if their parents let them have that. But I've seen them come back, because Hugo's 9 and Monty's approaching 5, so we're in the toy shop quite a bit now. I'm getting a feel of it. So it's like products you love, you reckon product first. In some of the webinars I've sat in and listened to, they're going like, get the audience right and then fit the product to that. And I'm just like, God, I personally can't imagine trying to do it that way around. For me, I think I'm product. Crunch is the product that I wanted to create because I'm not an accountant. I wanted a better accountancy service, and it all super easy numbers on the screen wherever I was. So I start product. But we did obviously tie it up to an audience then. It started off with freelancers. Now we go all the way up to e-commerce businesses, of course. But I do find it hard. If you're going to approach a market brand new, go to the audience. I don't know. It feels like a different way around, a harder way around for me.
Yeah, and I think by setting up on platform like marketplace platforms such as like eBay and Amazon as well, that there's something for everybody. And you honestly, you think there's some things I've bought, I think, oh, that's good, I like it, but I think it's gonna, take ages to sell. And within like 20 minutes or an hour of listing it, it's sold, and that blows my mind. And then I think,
wow.
oh, did I underprice that? But I'm still making a profit on it. But
you can't go back to the buyer, can you? And go, can I put a tenner on that, please?
Yeah, no, but there's little things like that you honestly, you'd be shocked at what sells. I've picked up things, and my partner's really understanding, and they kind of look at me and go, "Why have you picked that up?" And I'm like, "Trust me." Trust me. I bought a
apart from China.
It was a ceramic. It was in a charity shop. It was a ceramic toilet roll holder. And they looked at me and just went, and I went, "Trust me." And then I said, I left my phone and I Googled it. I said, "Can you just Google this on eBay?" And then she looked at me and just went, "What?" And I went, "Yeah." So I think it was worth about £150.
No.
Because it was ceramic, and I ended up selling it to a hotel.
No.
It within a week it had sold.
Good effort.
Yeah.
So you're
not everything's as good as that.
No. Okay, right. So the educational piece is product. You've got to be connected with it, haven't you? You've got to feel some passion for it.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be that's your advice. And then with all of your experience, 16 years, you start getting a feel of what that looks interesting. And of course, we're all going to make mistakes at the beginning. I've spoken to a number of e-commerce sellers who've bought a job lot of something and it's still sitting in the warehouse, and Amazon is absolutely rinsing them for it sitting past the however long the days are. But anyway, let's move on. So I don't think I was clear at the beginning about the time frame. We think 45 minutes is more than enough to do that. In the end, we've got Q&A. So we've got Luke manning the chat. I think Niraj already snuck in there with the hello. Thanks for that, Niraj. And by the way, Niraj is our sales trainer and LinkedIn trainer, a freelancer from Northern Ireland, who's done an amazing job helping us. So he's watching this as well. So I think my question to Niraj is can he sell his courses and services online? I'm sure you can. Right. Okay. So next one. Now this is essentially what we've been talking about, but this is a whole genre I did not realize existed. This world of reselling. I mean, you've pretty much been talking about it, going out and looking. But if someone's interested in this, what we've given them the advice on where the product, what they're passionate about, something that they feel connected to. What else can you give them advice for in this world? Because I was asking you about Monopoly, wasn't I? Like, could you get a certain Monopoly board? Yeah, sure. People ask me for stuff because I'm always out there. But yeah, what's the rest of the strategies around reselling?
It's a really good question, because I think it does vary on what you're selling and which platform. eBay, I kind of focus on used items, mainly trainers and footwear that I kind of specialize more in.
Used.
Used. Yeah. And and then you go into other areas like Amazon FBA, which I've done, and getting back into. I kind of stepped away from it a little bit, and now I'm coming more back into Amazon FBA.
Just in case we've got any super beginners online, FBA. Can you explain the acronyms?
I can. So Amazon FBA is Amazon Fulfilled by Amazon. So basically,
Right, okay.
it's your Prime. So you would buy stock, and usually with Amazon, it is majority of is used new items. They do accept some used items, but mainly new items that you purchase, send into Amazon, into the fulfillment centers, and then they would then send out on your behalf. So they take a higher fee for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's Amazon FBA.
Okay. I think we might have to. We had a big hitter, didn't we? Contact us. Was it only yesterday? Who seems to be pretty big Amazon FBA wanting to work with us. I think he's let's have a chat with him. Let's see if we can get him on the webinar and find out how it all works. I'm intrigued in this because that's never been my business area. How you put the whole thing together on Amazon or eBay. We're talking about now, but yeah, it's the nuances, the different pricing points. It feels pretty complicated to me. And some of these people are running pretty big businesses. A guy I know. Adam has got, I think he's just clocking 1 million, but he was guiding me through. I think he's across all the territories now, and he's just firing up in Japan. But I'm listening to all these different pricing points and stuff, and going, "Oh my God, this is how on earth do you manage this?" And he goes like, "Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, Darren. I was working for a 30 million turnover firm before, which is an Amazon business, but yeah, it boggles my brain listening to the complexity of how you run it, and yeah, I think we're going to have to focus on that. That's clearly another one in the series, really looking into detail in Amazon. But I thought we'll not have too many acronyms because we're in a world in accountancy of lots of acronyms, and we make sure we don't speak gobbledygook to any of our clients. So right, okay, so you've clearly got multiple revenue streams. You've got PAYE. You've got your reselling business. Is there any other sneaky things? Are you punting sweets to the Crunch employees that I don't know about?
No. But if we still had an office, I would totally be asking.
Yeah, you still be going around your little packets.
Yeah, I could definitely be.
So is there any other sneaky revenue streams that you can tell everybody about? Because I think that's filled up every minute of available minute in your days, isn't it? You're working flat out in Crunch, and now you're doing. By the way, isn't your flat in Brighton absolutely like piled high with stuff?
Yeah, so basically, yeah, it is and it isn't. I have selected the most valuable things are probably more in the flat.
Right,
but
okay.
Yeah,
so you got a lockup as well.
I got a lockup, yeah. So that's easier to kind of. Otherwise, I think my other half would lose it. Yeah, I think so. So there's the good compromise, I think. So
you've got 16 boxes of Adidas shell suits in here.
Yeah,
darling, shift it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. We're moving on. We're coming up. It's been like lots of fun. Hopefully, you're finding it useful. At the end of your computer screens or iPads or whatever you're on. Now, I asked Shelley for other inspirations. This is like a beginner motivational webinar. As I told you, I really love inspiring people to go and do things themselves. So. Shelley, these are Shelley, your favorite inspirational characters. Do you want to talk us through? And yeah, you can. We'll be sending out this webinar, won't we? Or the sheets, so that you can get all of these links. Let's go through them. Right, talk us through Des Hamilton. What's this guy all about?
Yeah, so Des is Brighton based, which is
brilliant. Is he Brighton based as well?
Brighton based, yeah. So he just popped into my algorithms on TikTok. And the one thing I I loved about Des was the fact that he's turning £200 into £100,000. That's his challenge, and he's doing it through different revenue streams.
Right.
Amazon, one of them being Amazon, is one of his main. And he delivers brilliant content. He's really honest with what he's doing, and he's just showing that it's hard work. There's so many of these kind of adverts that come on with these young guys, and they're just basically, I'm living my dream and I can do this, and I'm from a poolside in Bali and things like that, and it will get there hopefully, but it's so much hard work. It's a full-time job, and I love it. I've been loving it for 16 years. So Des is fantastic.
Has he done it? Has he done the first challenge then?
He hasn't, but honestly, I recommend anyone who's ever thought about doing starting out a side hustle or anything like that, go over to see visit Des on his TikTok. He's got a link tree that takes him through to different. He's got a Facebook group, but honestly, he really is brilliant, and I've learned quite a bit from him in the sense of how I start approaching things a little bit different. And more discipline, which is what I'm trying to do. So highly recommend Des Hamilton for anyone who wants to start out.
I had a quick look. I want to watch so many more of them, but by the time I got the boys to bed and I finished the day at Crunch, I just want to stare at the screen. But I will watch it. The one I did watch is the poor. He's carrying on the same enthusiasm, but the baby's on his shoulder. It's like good lad. He's like a family man, and he's trying to fit in that challenge. Did he work full time somewhere? Or is he still working full time?
Yes, still working full time, I believe. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you can do these big power challenges.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
And
right. Okay. Time's cracking on now.
It is.
Helena, I'm not even going to pronounce because I think I'm going to get it wrong. Who's this lady?
So Helena is very similar to Des in the sense of she set herself a challenge to earn £100,000 doing side hustles, and she's doing loads of different side hustles, and she's documenting what she's earning through them, and it's so interesting. There are some, if you're looking, cost of living is affecting people, and
massively.
And if you want some additional income or want to start out doing a side hustle, just to see if you like it, then Helena's a really great person to follow. And the same as if you're really wanting to get into Amazon FBA, which I know that's something we're going to touch base on at a later webinar. But Tom Parkinson is really good. He's done it. He's got a successful Amazon business. These are kind of my top three for anyone who's looking to start out doing something that they may not have done, or if they're already in this kind of in a lull with the business that they're doing. That happened to me. I was in a bit of a lull, and then I got the kind of inspiration to sort of give myself a kick up the bum
a writer's block, but
exactly.
The e-commerce version of it, a lull. Right. Okay. Exactly. So have a look at these links here. Go and have a look at these people and watch them. Whatever one that you feel connected to, keep watching that one. We want to give you that inspiration to go and do it. You may already be doing it, or you may be in that lull point as well. But hopefully that's really useful for you. So we've got 3 minutes, but we can keep carrying on for the Q&As. And Luke is going to man the chat. Hopefully it's been going ballistic, but maybe our one watcher, a cat, can't actually type. I don't know. Everybody's gone by now. Luke, is there any good questions coming in? I think Luke's gone home as well now. Let's tell you what we do. Let's see. I can 1 minute. Let's see if I can see. Can you see? Let's go and I'll see the chat. Right. Okay. Now I have to lean over because my glasses is a little bit tiny. I am here. He is here. He says. Is there any questions worth putting over, Luke? Niraj, I knew you'd come up with something. Well, that was something I said in the middle, because we were chatting on email. I think you could, as I said, everybody, Niraj is doing some great sales training. The whole of the Crunch team has been through Niraj's training, and also gets your LinkedIn profile. So my LinkedIn profile is actually up to date and looking half reasonable. So thanks, Niraj. So you do lots of LinkedIn newsletters, which is great. It's all like original content, not reposting stuff. And you're obviously selling one by one to big corporates. But I honestly think that you could very easily get this online and have maybe online workshops to the not just to the sold to the corporate, probably to the end users, maybe to all of the audience here. Would love to go into a workshop to really tune up the LinkedIn. That's what we see so many people have, like fairly poor or not updated, or has no testimonials, no recommendations, all these things I've learned. So why not sell that online? You could be quite surprised by simply setting up a Shopify site. I mean, Shelley, or in fact the e-commerce team, would probably be able to advise you how to do it, to get some courses, workshops for people to sell online, to intersperse all of the sales into the corporate world. So I think there's no doubt to the services you have, and you don't have to go to a hall these days like we're doing this webinar, but you could certainly sell standard workshops in LinkedIn or sales training. In fact, into the Crunch client base, we've got some 40,000 software users and about 9,000 accounting customers. So that's maybe something we can chat about offline. But absolutely, the workshop style things, I think you can definitely sell on online. The corporate sales, of course, has to be done exactly how you did interact with Crunch. We got a recommendation, we spoke to you, and it's done in a more corporate way, with an invoice and a payment. So yeah, thanks, Niraj. We've got in our e-commerce space, we have a customer who is and this sounds like an interesting area, a like professional wood restorer, and I thought there wasn't such a thing. So he's worked in Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace, and he had a workshop with loads of chaps and people restoring all these staircases and this wood, and it almost killed him. He also had a shop, and he was on the phone to me, and he's turned that into an online thing where he can sell his very, very specialist wood restoration skills that he's built up over, God knows, 20, 30 years. And they will walk him around their stately home or whatever they need restoring, and he'd give them guidance. So he's moved from a traditional model where he's on a site, probably in an amazing house or stately home, working till silly o'clock with the whole team, and then taking stuff back to the workshop, to selling it online, to doing it purely on video. And yeah, I'm really excited to see his progress. So I think we're going to have to get him on this webinar series as well. Super interesting. So Niraj, absolutely you can. Matthew, can Crunch provide services to help people automate e-commerce businesses? Yes. So given we are importing sale and purchase transactions, absolutely. So we are obviously an accounting software firm. We're also an accounting firm, so we provide the whole hybrid service. So you don't have to go shopping around for various bits and try and find an accountant with a piece of software. So we know how to pick the right pieces of software. So I've known them for a long time, and we use Link My Books as part of our service. It's all part of the pricing point, and that's Dan Little, who we're going to bring in from Link My Books. So all the feeds come in from whatever site you've got, Shopify or Amazon, and they're coming in to the accounting software with the correct tax treatments. And then you need to have the right treatments if they're sitting globally or wherever the stock is. So that's exactly what we do on the e-commerce side to automate it. And what seems to be the way is we get a lot of customers where they've gone to an accountant and said, sure, I can do that. I can do e-commerce accounting. And we get handed over a bag of spanners where the poor, a firm has tried to do this manually with manual bookkeeping, or they've picked a piece of software. It doesn't have the right tax treatments. It's all a bit of a mess. So we get it all set up again, fully automate it, and that makes life easy. Otherwise, you're spending an absolute fortune in bookkeeping. So Matthew, yes, we can. Any more questions, Luke? David, language courses and study abroad trips. So that goes, along with Niraj's LinkedIn and sales training. You could very easily set it up. So if you've got a site, it's the first choice is what to use. As a software, there's no CS Cart, which Shelley used in 2002. Shopify is pretty good. There's Magento. There's a number of different things. Shopify is probably the fastest way of doing it. But again, we can chat to you, the e-commerce team, and help guide you through how to get those language courses and those away trips being sold and map the whole thing out. You might need an agency to put that bit together, but you can probably very easily do it yourself. Shopify is amazing, but yeah, there's other packages. You might have a favorite. We've got many of them that all go into the link my books feeds, so it's all correctly accounting and tax treated. Any more? No more. Luke, thank you so much for fielding all of the chat, and thank you so much to all of you for watching our very first, well, actually, no, not our very first. Luke's been doing it for years and doing a brilliant job of it with all the accountancy and tax technical with our accountants. But yeah, it's the first one for me. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. A massive thanks to Shelley in our team for revealing her secret passion of selling like all these amazing things on the side, and probably nestling some money away for savings, knowing you.
It's all legitimate, Darren. It's all declared. It's all declared. Just for the record, it's all declared.
No, absolutely, David. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. So the next one is Luke will send it all out. I think I've jumped past. The next one is where we go into the nuts and bolts of putting the business together. We might get Shelley again if she'll come on again. I'm dragging away from a busy day job here. We might get some other people or a collection, and we might even get one of the crunch accountants. The building blocks, and I can add more than my 2 pennies worth in here, all the basic building blocks to get your business right. And of course, I would say this, running a big accountancy firm, you've got to get the bookkeeping element sorted up front, because otherwise it becomes a real pain in the bum later. So all the building blocks, the solid foundation for your e-commerce business, your selling business, your online business, that's coming up next. So we'll let you know and send emails out. And Luke will be sending out these slides and the entire webinar. So I'll leave it there. Thanks, Shelley. Thanks to all of you. Thanks, Luke. And we'll see you next time.